well, welcome back to our student series for beginner brass band. And by now you should have been through all of our fundamental videos, including things like posture, tonguing, buzzing, and all those elements we're going to put together to become great brass musicians. And so now we're ready to move into our books and learn musical examples together. So we're going to be using Standard of Excellence, and there's a book for trumpet which you'll use for cornet, an E-flat alto horn book, baritone treble clef, and trombone treble clef. And so if you haven't done so, you can go ahead and purchase those at the website below and have one for each of your students so they can follow along and learn this new language of music together. Let's turn to page 7 in your books, and we'll be looking at number 8, A Breath of Fresh Air. Again, page 7, number 8. And as we go through these books, we'll continue to implement various foundational techniques that you learned in the previous videos. So for number 8, we're going to focus on our breathing. Remember, when we breathe, we're going to take a nice full breath in through our mouth, keep your shoulders relaxed, and let's fill up from the bottom like we're filling up a glass of milk. So we're going to breathe in for 4, breathe out for 8 counts. During those 4 in, you have to fill up all the way. So take a huge breath like you have nothing else left to fill up. And then as we breathe out, the same way, 8 counts, you have to measure your air so you last all 8 beats and you have nothing left at the end. So let's try that together. In for 4, out for 8, okay? Sit up straight, backs off your chairs. Let's breathe in. 1, 2, ready, and breathe. Well, it's a lot of work if you're breathing properly, and you'll see how this corresponds to number 8 in your books. We have 2 measures of whole notes followed by a measure of a whole rest, and we continue that pattern for the whole piece. Now you'll see these little commas above some of the measures, and those are called breath marks. And we'll use those in our music from time to time, but I don't want you to acknowledge those in this piece. I think you don't need to breathe after every measure. So let's go ahead and scratch those off for now. But let's try to sing this example. So let me demonstrate. It would go like this. Ready, sing. E, E. Then we rest as we breathe. D, D. One more rest and breathe in. C, C. Okay, so just like our breathing exercise, but now adding the note names and pitches. So try that with me, singing the whole exercise, number 8. Ready? 1, 2, breathe in. E, E. Rest, 2, big breath. D, D. Rest, 2, big breath. C, C. Well, we've sung this whole exercise. We know how the rhythm goes, and so our last step before we play, we're going to pull the instrument up like we're about to play, but put the mouthpiece on your chin so you can sing along while you push the right valves down or trombones slide along. Now, if you need a review on how to hold your instrument, go back to some of those fundamental videos. But for the most part, most brass instruments, we hold around the valve casing to support the instrument with our left hand, and then our right hand controls the valves. Trombone is a little different, but again, go back to those videos if you need a reminder. So we're going to put the mouthpiece on our chin so we can sing. Make sure you're sitting up straight, and we're going to go through it like this. Here's our starting pitch. So we would sing E, E, rest, find the D, 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 rest, find the C, C, C. And if you need a review of the fingerings, they're on the previous page. So let's sing that exercise together. Here's our starting pitch again. La, la. For the cornets, whichever note you're more comfortable singing, let's sing it together. 1, 2, ready, sing. E, E. Make sure you're pushing those valves down. Rest. find the D and D, D. Rest, find the C and C, C. You can review that a couple times if you need to as far as the singing while you're pushing the valves down. But I'm going to continue on now to our final step, which is to play the exercise. Now this is a fairly simple exercise. I'm not going to split it up into sections. We can just play all the way through. But you do need to review your embouchure that we learned in one of our fundamental videos. So remember, our corners are tight, like somebody's pinching on them. They're pushed back. So our cheeks are in. Our cheeks are not puffed out or we lose control. And probably the most important thing is that our teeth are separated, right? So you can imagine putting your pinky between your teeth. And we need that much space so that our air can flow freely to our lips that are together and buzzing, okay? So remember those steps, especially keeping your teeth apart. It'll sound like this. Let me demonstrate. Number 8, a breath of fresh air. Find D. We find C. So if you try playing that with me now, remember to sit up straight in your chairs and bring the instrument up to you. Don't hunch down to the instrument, but let's sit up nice and tall. And remember your embouchure with that space between your teeth. Now, some of you might play a note that's higher than mine. Some of you might play a note that's lower. We just naturally have different abilities as we start. But the most important thing is that you're pushing down the buttons at the right time, pushing down the valves or moving the slide. So we're learning to read this music. So let's try it together. Horns up. Mouthpiece on your face, and you're going to breathe in through your corners. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, breathe. Rest, 2, big breath. Rest, 2, last 2 measures, and alright, let's do that on your own, okay? I've been demonstrating, but I want to hear you guys. So I'll sing, I'll go back to singing the note names while you guys play and push down the right buttons, okay? So horns on your face, like you're going to play. You play, I'll sing, and let's try that together so we can really hear you guys, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, big breath, and E, rest, 2, big breath. D, D, rest, 2, big breath. C, C, and then we put our horns down in our laps and wait for instruction. Great job, guys. Continue to do that a few more times if you'd like. But we're going to move on to another example. So look down on your pages to number 11. Same page, page 7, number 11, half the price. And this is another note value that we learned in our fundamental videos. A half note. It's a circle with a stem, and it gets 2 beats of sound. So you'll know that from our previous videos. We're using the same notes here. So let's try another breathing exercise that's going to match these. We'll shorten the amount of time we breathe in. We'll breathe in for 2 beats, and then we'll breathe out for 6 beats, okay? And this is going to match this exercise. So again, let's do a little breathing together. Breathe in for 2. Out for 6, filling up as much as we can and trying to keep our shoulders relaxed. So let's try that together. In for 2, out for 6. I'll say ready, breathe, and then we'll be in. Ready, breathe. And that just about lines up with number 11, our exercise. Let's try that one more time. So in for 2, out for 6, okay? Let's try it together. Sit up straight, nice and relaxed breath. Ready, breathe. All right, you can really feel that, right? And like I said, that lines up with number 11 in our books. The last couple measures veer away from that, but that basically lines up. You have half note, half note, half note, which equals our 6 beats, and then 2 beats of silence as we breathe in with that half rest, okay? So we have that back to back to back. Why don't we try clapping that? We haven't clapped anything yet. So again, for half notes, whole notes, we're going to clap and pulse through the extra beats, okay? So let's try number 11. Look at it. Okay? It's very repetitive, right? Until the last couple measures where we have to change things up. So let's try it together, clapping number 11. 1, 2, ready, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're off. Yeah, so like I said, the last couple measures might have tripped you up a little bit, but the pattern is very repetitive in the first half of this piece. So why don't we start there? Let's start in measure 5, okay? So that's where you have 3 C's in a row, C with that ledger line through it underneath the staff. You have 3 C half notes, a half rest. Then you have a D half note by itself, right? It's not part of that pattern of 3 half notes. It's a D by itself, another half rest, and finally a whole note C. So let's try that starting in measure 5 of number 11. Let's just clap that. That's probably where we got tripped up a little bit. Let's try that together on a C. 1, 2, ready, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now the last 2 measures. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I'm sure we still had a couple people that were off. Let's try it one last time, starting in measure 5 on that C half note of number 11. 1, 2, ready, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, rest. And then our final measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so you just have to catch when the patterns change, right? When we see a pattern, sometimes we just give into it and we think everything's going to be like that. But notice the difference toward the end there, okay? Alright, so we've done our breathing, we've done our clapping, and so now let's sing some of these notes. So go ahead and sit up straight, hold the horn properly, and you're just going to put the mouthpiece on your chin as you sing so that we can push the valves or slide along on trombone. Okay, here's our starting pitch. That's our E. Okay, let's try that together. E, 1, 2, ready, sing. E, E, E. Rest, find D, 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 D. Rest, C, 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 C. Rest, last 2, D, rest, rest. C. Well, I hope there weren't any soloists there in the last couple measures. Continue to look ahead and don't get sucked into that pattern the whole piece, right? So now we're ready to play it, number 11, with our mouthpieces on our face. Now this one has some faster moving notes than the previous example, right? Half notes, they get 2 beats of sound versus the whole notes that take up the whole measure. So we need to focus on our tongue a little bit as well as we separate these notes just slightly, okay? The air keeps moving forward and the tongue just comes in for a split second to separate it. And if you remember our fundamental videos, you might want to go back and review that. But really, if this is our tongue and this is our teeth, we're just kind of pulling back more than attacking harshly, but we're just pulling back. Our tongue starts right behind our top teeth on our gums, and it just pulls back to let the air through, okay? So let's, before we play, one last thing, let's sing this on a 2. There's our pitch. So we would sing 2, 2, 2, and then 2, 2 for the next bar. And we're really practicing that nice, soft, gentle tongue, keeping our jaw steady, not bouncing up and down when we say 2. So let's try that together. 1, 2, big breath, and say 2. 2, 2, 2, rest to D. 2, 2, 2, nice and connected. C. 2, 2, 2. Last 2 measures. 2, rest, rest. 2. So continue to use that syllable 2. If we use ta, ta, that kind of makes our jaw go up and down. So 2 keeps it nice and steady like we want it. All right, we're ready to play. Remember to connect those notes and just use a nice soft tongue to separate them slightly, okay? It'll sound like this. All right, the notes are touching and they're just ever so slightly separated. Keep your air going the whole time. Let's play that together. Remember, hold your horn the right way, sit up straight. I'm going to conduct, so don't watch how I hold my horn. And let's play the whole exercise. 1, 2, big breath. Well, you can continue to work on this exercise if you prefer to pause and really hone in on those last 4 measures that might be tripping you up. Again, go for accurate fingers at this point. The sound might not be perfect, and that's okay. But we're going to move on to the next page. Now, on pages 6 and 7, there's a lot of exercises you could do if you'd like to do them on your own that kind of go over some of the same material. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to quarter notes. So let's turn the page together. Let's look at number 15, a quarter's worth. And you'll see we're using the same notes as before, so we don't have any new valve combinations. We have E, the bottom line, D right below the staff, and then C with that ledger line. So nothing new there. We're just adding quarter notes, which a quarter note, as you know from our fundamental videos, a quarter note gets 1 beat of sound. Let's just clap these first 4 measures, okay? The first 4 measures, quarter note measure, quarter rest measure, quarter note measure, quarter rest measure, and we'll stop there, okay? Let's try that together. 1, 2, ready, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4. The last 4 measures, starting in measure 5, where we just stopped on the C quarter note, this changes the pattern a little bit, okay? Just like we talked about in the last example. So we have 4 quarter notes, 4 quarter rests, all right, we know that. Then we have 4 quarter notes that go straight into a whole note. So we're used to having rests during that whole note measure, and we need to continue to play or to clap. So let's clap those last 4 measures, starting on measure 5 with C quarter note. 1, 2, ready, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2. Now the last 2 measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. See how we did as far as continuing on outside the pattern. So here's measure 5 with C quarter note. Let's clap it. 1, 2, measure 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now here's our whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. We know the basic rhythm of this piece. It's fairly simple. Those last couple measures you need to focus as we get into the whole note. But let's now sing it. And since this is a short example, very repetitive, let's go ahead and sing while we push the valves down or while we slide along. We don't need to break this down, okay? So it'll go like this. E, 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 rest, find the D, ready, okay? So let's do the whole example together. Mouthpiece on your chin, sitting up straight, holding the horn the right way, and let's sing while we push the buttons or slide. Ready? 1, 2, ready, sing. E, 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 find the D, ready, and D, 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 1, 2, ready, C, 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 1, 2, last 2 measures, and D, 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 C. We know the rhythm and we know the notes. We've sung and pushed down the right valves, so we're just about ready to play, but I'd like to do one other exercise. This uses some faster note values, right? We're using quarter notes almost this whole piece. And so I'd like to get our tongue involved even more so. The last exercise we were using the syllable tu, 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 and that's what we want to continue, but let's take our mouthpieces out. Let me just give you a reference pitch. There's our E, and I'm going to buzz this example without my instrument, so it'll sound like this. Rest, 2, D, and I would continue on through the whole piece. I'm trying to match pitch, and this is a difficult skill to get at first, but you're using your ears, and you're firming your embouchure or loosening your embouchure depending on where the note is, right? So if I'm loosening, I can firm it up to go higher. And look at the corners of my lip. You can see the firming to go higher, right? So if you don't feel like you're on the right pitch and you're too low, you need to firm things up and use a little more air. If you're too high, you just need to loosen up a bit as well. I'm going to demonstrate again this whole exercise buzzing, and then you can try to join me. Rest, 2, D, and rest, 2, C, and rest, 2, last 2 measures. And you almost run out of air there. You have to take a huge breath getting into those last 2 measures. Now the other thing you'll notice is I want to connect the notes. So I'm not just going and bobbing my head and making a lot of movement, but I'm going too, too, too. My air keeps going, and my tongue is just slightly separating those notes. So again, here's our reference pitch. That's our E. And I want you to try that with me. Buzz the notes, try to match pitch, but also keep it smooth and connected. Don't play short notes, but nice and connected notes. Here we go, number 15, buzzing the whole exercise. Here's our E. 1, 2, big breath. Rest, find the D, ready, and. Nice and connected, big breath. Last 2 measures, really big breath. Alright, so you may be running out of air because we don't have the resistance of your horn when we're buzzing, but that's great. It's another great breathing exercise. I encourage you to buzz a lot as well. So now we're ready to put the mouthpiece back in the horn. Remember, just a slight twist to the right and it'll be good to go. Do not hammer it in there because we'll have to have a special tool to get it out when it gets stuck. So we're going to hold our horn the right way, weight in the left hand, valves in the right hand, pull it up to you sitting up straight. There's our starting pitch. Remember, I'm going to hold my horn funny because I'm conducting. You hold it the right way. Let's try it together all the way through. 1, 2, big breath. Rest, find the D, 1 and 3. Rest, 2, big breath. Last 2 measures. Okay, and remember those last 4 measures might throw you off when the pattern changes. Let's do it one last time, the whole exercise. I'm going to sing, you play. So hold your horns the right way, mouthpieces on your lips, and let's play while I sing. 1, 2, big breath, and E, 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 E. Rest, find the D, ready, and D, 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 D. Rest, find the C, ready, and C, 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 C. Rest, last 2 measures, ready, and D, 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 C. Well, you may need to go back over number 15 a couple times, press pause and continue to work on that lesson. I wouldn't encourage you to go farther beyond 15 at this point until our next video lesson. You can go back and review anything on pages 6 and 7 as well, but keep practicing. I'm really proud of you and your leaders for committing to this. We really need to practice at least once a week. I hope you're doing some personal practice as well if you can. But it's that stability that's going to help you get better. So keep at it and keep giving your best to God. I know that He's going to bless your music and you're going to have great music at your core as you continue to develop. So thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.